I'm more of a Hawaiian punch.
This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
Video games are an art.
Everything's nice here.
And like other artistic mediums, there are different tones, styles, and techniques. As one of the most iconic gaming IPs of the 1990s, with legions of fans in North America, Twisted Metal has a particular flavor.
So good and tasty?
And at least from early looks at the trailers, the Peacock series is really shaping up to be a big, steamy pile of
Toilet paper.
And while I genuinely hope that I am eventually proven wrong here, the trailer's comedic tone, its portrayal of pivotal characters, and the overall concept just seem to be inconsistent with the video games. As a fan of the games, it's important that the live-action series respects the core elements of Twisted Metal that have existed across the 8 games published over the past 28 years. To put things simply, Twisted Metal is a fight-to-the-death demolition derby. Twisted Metal plays like a fighting game. There's a roster of playable characters, each with their own motivations, backstories, and special abilities. Twisted Metal isn't this post-apocalyptic delivery service. This isn't a Kojima game. It's a death tournament. The champion of Twisted Metal is granted a single wish, with no limits on cost, consequence, or even reality. Your wish is granted by the mysterious founder of the Twisted Metal tournament, Calypso, who is an unpredictable madman.
I am Calypso! And I thank you for playing Twisted Metal!
Part of the fun is seeing if characters get their wishes, or if Calypso mixes their words against them.
You want to spend the rest of eternity in hell? Welcome to Hell, Michigan.
Twisted Metal isn't this slapstick comedy. Twisted Metal has more of a twisted, Twilight Zone-esque feel to it. The first Twisted Metal was heavily inspired by games like Mortal Kombat. There were digitized sprites for NPCs and playable characters. The game-ending wishes were originally rendered in full motion video. These creative choices give this early 90s vibe. This is like something you would see on the Sega CD.
No! Block! Where are you going? No!
Unfortunately, most of those FMVs were cut in favor of text scrolls, but you get my point. Twisted Metal 2 has a much better visual presentation. The cutscenes shift to this dark comic book style. Calypso comes across as all-powerful and even at times debonair, cruising around in his blimp, narrating the entire story for the player. It's super cool. The final wishes are also 1,000 times better. Players get those dark, twisted endings that we so long to see in the first game.
I am a free man, and you are no longer my father.
This is not to say that the Peacock series needs to be animated or even have these janky FMVs, but there needs to be a style and a tone that conveys that dark and twisted vibe that we want. When 989 Studios took over development in the late 90s, many fans felt betrayed by the artistic redirection. I mean, you can even see the difference in the box art. I mean, look at the two. Twisted Metal 3 and Twisted Metal 4 kept most of the core elements of the games, while blatantly ignoring other elements. Twisted 3 opted to go with this nightmare-inducing CGI style. That could be forgiven if the tone of the game wasn't so fucking stupid.
Tiny forest creatures are in danger.
Players are so cringy, it's unbearable. And the final wishes are colossally idiotic.
Your wish is to eat all the candy and ice cream you want?
Twisted 4 retcons the entire story, replaces Calypso with Sweet Tooth, and it's weird. None of the franchise's iconic characters make an appearance. Instead, they choose to make Mr. Grimm a pirate. an actual fucking pirate, and include all of these F-tier characters.
Yo, what up, ST? Check it, drop a player in a bucket, heck, trip down hoop ride, all chromey, homie, with my name on my props. Oh yeah.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
At least Twisted Metal 3 and Twisted Metal 4 have soundtracks that absolutely slap. Rob Zombie even became a playable character, and he drives that monster coach that he drives in the Dragula music video. It's actually kind of cool. I mean, this is the real canonical ending here, I'm just saying.
He writes the songs. He writes the songs.
But Twisted Metal shouldn't be overly wacky or zany. Otherwise, we aren't invested in the life and death situations that the characters are in the show. But this also doesn't mean that tone can't be shifted or even changed. The Peacock series certainly can make changes to Calypso's appearance and style, or Raven, whatever the name of this character is. Those changes could be made as long as the core character remains intact. Much of the 2000s was about adapting the series to new audiences, changing characters and shifting the tone to see what worked for fans. In the early 2000s, the video game industry was shifting more and more towards adults. Twisted Metal Black capitalized on this, becoming the first game in the series with an M rating. Black was dark, gritty, and violent compared to the previous games. The characters get this batshit crazy redesign with these horrific and violent backstories.
The sheer volume of people I'd killed, it was breathtaking.
The whole game seems so gray, like almost literally gray. There's no colors here. Twisted Metal Black is a great example on how to reinvent a series. And I think Black has greatly influenced the remaining 3 games of the franchise and now the live action series. It's that important. Twisted Metal Small Brawl, originally called Twisted Metal Kids, is a title that was sold to younger audiences after that super violent Twisted Metal Black came out. It uses RC cars instead of real cars and makes Calypso a schoolyard bully. It's super weird. While Twisted Metal Head-On has that same comic book style from Twisted 2, it incorporates character redesigns from Black. Many of the Twisted Metal Black characters reappear in the final game of the series, Twisted Metal 2012. Even though the stories are fleshed out in this part live action, part CGI style that was kind of common sometime in the late 2000s, there are only 4 playable characters. The game was developed in the early 2010s when gaming philosophy was geared more towards online multiplayer first and single player campaigns second, so the wacky roster from past games was replaced with a clan-based system for online multiplayer. Not my favorite choice. While some entries are better than others, I honestly believe every Twisted Metal is worth checking out and playing. Partially, this video is about me gushing about how much I love this series. I have this nostalgia from playing with my friends as a kid, and I love looking back at the twists and the turns that the franchise has made. I love the comic book art style. I like the crappy CGI. Each of these games are like a work of art from a particular point in time. Twisted Metal is like this big sandwich of vehicular mayhem. So long as there's like 2 pieces of bread and meat, it's a sandwich, right? So as long as there's like explosions, cars, and fucked up wishes, it's a Twisted Metal game, I think. Some sandwiches are good, some sandwiches are bad, some sandwiches are weird, and I'm okay with that. So my message to the new Twisted Metal series on Peacock is kinda simple. Don't take away our bread. Don't take away our meat. Don't try and make this a comedy. Sure, Twisted Metal uses satire, but in a dark and twisted way. Don't try to reimagine characters in really weird ways that just don't make sense. Calypso is a dangerous individual. They probably wouldn't be sitting around having lighthearted conversations. Doesn't make sense. Please don't make this a post-apocalyptic fetch quest. Twisted Metal is a winner-takes-all death tournament. Make it a winner-takes-all death tournament. All I ask.
Oh yeah.
I want to thank you all for watching this video essay on my love for Twisted Metal. Make sure to check back in a few weeks because we're going to be dropping a new sticker shop. Link will be in the description below. And I'll see you all in the next video.